Hello, my name is Dr. Makita Linear von Quajian, and today we're in our laboratory trying to solve the mystery of quarantine. We have some questions for you today that we need your help. So come on into the lab and let's get to work.
This is Mr. H again. I think we have a pretty good handle on the pattern of infection rate. We're just trying to figure out how many people were in that original cluster who got infected right when this outbreak first started. So we don't know what the start number was, but we do know that the pattern happens like this. After the initial cluster, 10 more people got infected. And then that number doubled. And then for some reason, mostly due to recoveries, the next number was really just 1/3 the previous number. And then that pattern continued on. Then 10 more got infected, and then that number doubled, and then we ended up now today with 12, which is just 1/3 of this previous number. How many people were originally infected?
What up, my quarantine math people? Back at it again. Mr. H coming from the lab, trying to help us solve the mystery of quarantine. So I've already went ahead and set up our numbers. Okay, so our ending total was 12, and he told us the pattern of how one number became the next. So we started with an initial cluster, and then we added 10, okay, to get this number, and then we multiplied by 2, and then we to get this next number. And then the next thing we did was it was 1/3 of the previous number. Okay, so I'm going to say 1/3 times. Okay, and then the pattern of the operation started over. We added 10, we multiplied by 2, and then we did 1/3 times again. And so if we start with our last number and we actually work backwards, 1/3 of what number equals 12? Okay, so if I was trying to figure out, okay, 1/3 of, so I'll say times a number, I'll use variable t, equals 12. So multiplying by a fraction is the same thing as dividing by the reciprocal. So we really could just do t divided by 3, equals 12. So what number divided by 3 equals 12? What I'm going to do is I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to say, okay, well, 12 times 3 equals what number? And that would be 36. And then we took a number and multiplied it by 2 to equal 36. So again, we're going to go backwards. We'll do the inverse operation multiplication, and we're going to divide by 2 to get 18. Then we had a number and we added 10 to get 18. So again, we're going to, because we're working backwards, we're going to do the inverse operation of addition, which is subtraction, and we're going to subtract 10 to get 8. And then our pattern, not the numbers, but our pattern of the operations just repeated itself. Okay, so what number, 1/3 of what number equals 8? We're going to multiply, so 8 times 3 equals 24. The inverse operation of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2, so I have 12. And then I added 10 to get this number, so I'm going to do the inverse operation, and I'm going to subtract 10. And the initial cluster was 2 people. So hopefully you're able to work backwards. Again, for a lot of these types of questions we'll be doing for our quarantine math from the lab, you're going to have to either work backwards or use your logic and try different strategies to think through the problem. Join us again next episode for another exciting quarantine from the lab. Stay safe, do math, I'm out.